It's 8:30 Central Time. I'm Chief Meteorologist Amy Metz with the United Cajun Navy, taking a look at a few weather products here. We have not just one typhoon that we've been monitoring going from the Philippines to Vietnam, but a whole nother one behind it that will be a super typhoon we'll take a look at in a moment. Some space weather on the rise, and quite a few areas with nice conditions weather-wise in the United States. However, those warnings are all along the east and west coasts. So from my top-down approach here as a meteorologist, I always start with space weather and how it can impact our forecast here on Earth. First of all, in the last 24 hours, we've had an R3 radio blackout, meaning that some of our emergency communicators on the ground wouldn't be able to transpond as they typically would through their radio waves hitting the ionosphere and bouncing back. That usually lasts about 15 to 30 minutes at a time. And based on all of these bright spots on the left side of the sun, it tells me we have more space weather to come. Those are those active sunspot regions that can cause aurora, which is forecast there in the middle. And then we see the blasts on the top right. Some coronal mass ejections sending plasma our way. Now that in the bottom left did give us some pretty intense flaring today in the X-class range. And we have protons on the rise. Something about protons that I have learned over time, comparing this all to how our weather responds on Earth, is that when we get higher protons, the temperatures go down. And so when it comes to those cold weather forecasts around Veterans Day, I do think that we're going to be seeing some of that really cold air sweeping down into the south right on time, like we've been seeing some of those models indicating. Now, as far as the lightning storms are concerned, I would ask people to take them very seriously. We see some positive red signs on some of those strikes. That's in relation to the space weather that just passed by. And it means that people can get struck by lightning up to 20 miles away from a storm with a strike up to 1,000,000 times stronger than our average strikes. They will be more plentiful after those radiation storms. So gale weather warnings along the coastline as a pretty moderate to minor atmospheric river is impacting Northern California through Oregon. High wind warnings along the coast, and then small craft advisories down further south. But quite a few areas with the coastal flood advisories because of the heavy rain from that atmospheric river and the peaks right next to California's coastlines, and really basically everywhere along the west coast. It's going to increase the rainfall amounts, cause some flash flooding over the next few days. Looking for this to stop impacting by about Friday, but then we're going to see some of the snow falling. There's high wind advisories in effect as that system passes by a little further to the east over the ridge lines of our mountain ranges. And then the Rockies should be getting some snow caps along with those in the Pacific Northwest. It's going to cool down quite a bit as that storm passes by across the northern territories here. North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. It's going to feel chilly. We have some of those winter weather warnings that were on the map last week, but these are warmer core storms moving through. But the next one that's going to be here next week is not. Right around Veterans Day, it's really going to cool down. November 10th in the central states, 11th and 12th for places like Indiana and the southeast. We're talking freezing temperatures as far south as Louisiana. And so before that, though, it's been nice and sunny. Let's enjoy that for now, except for the fire weather warnings there along the coasts, the border of West Virginia and Virginia. Otherwise, a lot of these other warnings have to do with the incoming wind from our next storm system. This one near the Great Lakes for the East Coast. Now, heading down further south, there are some of the small craft advisories along the coast. There's a stationary front that is also impacting, it's about to impact Jamaica. By tomorrow and the next day, we have Thursday and Friday with the chances for some thunderstorms there in the middle of the relief efforts. So a couple of storm systems building for Alaska, none of them very intense, pretty much right on time with the year. And unfortunately, it is the time of year where the Philippines tend to have a lot of typhoon activity. So we've been monitoring Tino, which is now making its way away from the Philippines toward Vietnam. over the open water, it is going to get stronger again. This came on shore in central Philippines with wind speeds right around 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers per hour, and some stronger gusts. Quickly downgraded by the time it got to the central part of the country, it was closer to 80 miles per hour with the wind speeds. Now, it did not hit Puerto Princesa with anything very strong, more so tropical wind speeds when you get further away from that line. The middle track, though, however, for this next storm that is forming right now could be felt further away, even in Manila in this case, as super typhoons are capable of having much stronger wind. It's basically the category 4 and 5 that we would use in the United States. Where we're at right now is still a tropical depression. Very likely this will form into a tropical storm in the next few hours, and at which point has a huge opportunity, prime conditions to very quickly get much stronger. One of those reasons is that storm activity that you see passing south of Tokyo. There's kind of a line of clouds going all the way from the top right corner of the screen down toward the center near Taipei. That sort of a frontal system. It's kind of like a very weak cold front, these upper level winds. As they pass by our tropical storms, it can allow them to spin, kind of like when you stick your finger in some water and pull it. So that's where we have one of the factors to intensify the storm, plus the warm water next to the Philippines is also going to enhance that storm strength. So this is one to definitely watch, especially as Manila is one of the highest population areas in the Philippines. We'll be keeping more information coming out on this and live streams available 24/7 on our YouTube, United Cajun Navy.